Well, it's been 5 days, and our beer is ready to be transferred from this 6.5 gallon carboy down to this 5 gallon carboy here. So I'm going to use my auto siphon again, and I'm going to try and keep that off the bottom where all this sediment is, right down here. When you transfer the beer, you want to agitate the beer at this phase as little as possible. So you'll notice that the tube will hold it onto the bottom and the beer is filling from the bottom up. As where before we wanted to aerate the beer, so we were splashing the beer around from the top. Alright, we're getting real close to the end of this here, so you have to be very careful to not pick up much of the sediment. Yeah, that brown stuff in the back is all the sediment. Now the beer was sitting here for about 2 weeks, and hopefully some of the flavors are going to mellow out. And by siphoning it from the main carboy into the secondary, we also lost a lot of that stuff, the trub that we don't want floating around in our beer, and it should be clearer and taste a lot better. So it's been 2 weeks, and I've taken a specific gravity reading, and the beer is at its final gravity, and it's not going to get any more sugars fermented into beer. So we are ready to transfer it into our 5 gallon soda keg here. And we're going to pressurize this with CO2, which is going to create forced carbonation. Alright, so again we start our siphon going here. Alright, you can see the beer filling up there, nice and steady. Well, we're down to the very bottom here, and it's crucial that I try not to stir up the yeast as much as possible. Now that our beer is filled almost near the top here, we got about exactly 5 gallons. We're going to snap the lid on here. Just drop in some sanitizer solution right before we do that, just to make sure there's no bad stuff on there. And make sure that it is a well-seated seal. And we're going to take our CO2 here, and we're going to hook it into the CO2 in. And what we're going to do is we're going to bleed all the air that's in there out. We're going to turn on our gas, and we're going to fill up. Okay, so once we fill it up with CO2, we'll let some of that pressure out. I just want to make sure there's absolutely no air in there whatsoever. Alright, now that we've blended the CO2, it's time to chill down the beer. Alright, now we're going to put the keg into the refrigerator. Okay, and the CO2 as well. Probably can't. Okay, so now we have the keg and the CO2 both in the refrigerator, and we need to force carbonate the beer. So the first thing we're going to do is connect our gas line, and then we're going to turn back on the CO2, and we're going to use this adjusting screw in the front to dial in our correct pressure. So I'm going to use about 20 to 30 pounds of pressure from the CO2 to force carbonate for about 3 days. Pressure is about 20, and our temperature on our keg here is at about 75. Now it's been 3 days and our beer is fully carbonated. It's time to pour this first glass here. Sometimes the first one can be a little foamy. There we go. Nice, delicious glass of beer. Here's some of the beers to come. We have a mead over here in the ale pail, and another version of the amber that has just been made, and a sweet stout that is going to be bottled in another couple weeks. So there's more good stuff to come here.